family unit is overrun. When the structure is undone by some new concoction. Now I walk softly and carry a big stick. Original.
Welcome to the Franchise Show on franchisesportsmedia.com. I'm Joe Arrigo. With me is my brother TQ.
Oh yeah, we in the building again, ladies and gentlemen. Great to be here. Las Vegas sports. It's been a hell of a week.
Man, that's an understatement. So look, everywhere you go in Vegas, you turn on the TV, if you turn on your radio, even, when I was driving around today, I had Sirius XM on, and the topic of the day, one of the main topics is Henry Ruggs. Yeah. And the unfortunate, tragic incident that happened on early Tuesday morning, where he and his girlfriend got into a car accident and tragically killed somebody who burnt to death in her car with her dog. Man. She was 23. Ruggs is 22. These are, and I would assume his girlfriend, I think she's 21, 22 as well. These are three lives that, one, the futures are gone, or there's a flicker of a candlelight right now for Ruggs. Mm-hmm. Lives are changed forever for three or more families.
Yeah.
Like, let's start at the beginning. When we talked about it, when it happened, like, what went through your mind?
First was he okay? I didn't expect anything like this. That was it was shocking when I finally wrapped my head around what had actually happened. I want to spend the top of our show talking about the most important part of this. Okay. And that is the victim.
100%.
It just so happens, with the news cycle, we're a sports media company. We report sports news. The valid or the most, enticing part of it for us and for the people in our industry is the fact that it's a pro football player on our hometown team. So naturally, the name Henry Ruggs is going to carry the news cycle. But this story is about the girl who lost her life and about her family. These are part of our community.
Yeah.
And, I don't know the full story about their family or how long they've been here or anything, but I would go so far as to say that they're more a part of our community than Henry Ruggs is. So I want to give my condolences to the family. I want to, ask God to rest her soul. May she rest in peace. And it's very unfortunate that this death did not have to happen. It's the worst kind. It was fully avoidable, and that's the saddest part of all of this for me. First and foremost, my heart goes out to her and how she just unfairly lost her life.
Tina Tinter was, I think from my understanding, she dropped a friend off and was going home. She lived a few blocks from where the accident took place.
Okay.
Henry Ruggs and his girlfriend were at Topgolf, where reportedly they were overserved. There was multiple shots and drinks served that night, and then they went to a friend's house to reportedly or allegedly play poker.
Okay.
And when they were on their way home.
Gotcha.
The Tinter family, as someone that's gone through losing a child as a parent, there's no feeling that's described. You're always at a loss. Right. It's how you learn to cope and deal with it. That's what this family has to learn to do now.
Right.
Because you're always going to grieve. There's going to be things that trigger you, and there's going to be things that put you in a different place with your perspective.
Right.
And I'm going to be transparent. At various points in my life, I've driven drunk. Thank God nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
And for this to hit so close to home, and again, I was driving around town today, and I happened, not by choice, but I had to take Rainbow, and I drove by Rainbow and Spring Mountain.
Yeah.
I seen the actual site. It gave me chills and goosebumps, and I had a sinking feeling in my stomach.
Crazy, man.
Then to see the video of the car on fire, to see video of Ruggs and his girlfriend on the ground and him crying.
Hard to watch, man. Hard to watch.
Football be damned. Like I literally, when the news broke, the first thing people thought, I'm in my Twitter account, was, what's that mean for the Raiders? What are we going to do without Ruggs? What?
Yeah.
Like I thought back to the draft process, where this was a young man that openly talked about his best friend at 17 being killed in a car accident.
Same situation, man. It's crazy, man. It's a really unfortunate turn of events, and I think it leads me into what we as men of our age, you've coached, I've mentored in programs for young men and student athletes, young musicians. It's decision making, man. It's decision making. So many, it's just so much young greatness that has just made a bad decision that turns their lives for the worst. And I don't want to pile on here, but as a black person, as a black man, you just don't have that many chances. You know what I'm saying? So when you get into a position where you can provide generational wealth to those that come behind you with your last name or your community or your school, whatever you choose, when you can create generational wealth, you have to pay attention to the position that you're in and the decisions that you make because of that weight. It's a weight. It is a weight to be drafted into the NFL.
Yeah, because you have so many people that end up depending on you that
Exactly.
normally haven't. I mean, you've experienced it in your line of work.
Absolutely.
I've experienced it in mine. It's literally, you have people that call you, hey, can I get this?
Absolutely.
Or you put on your payroll to
Absolutely.
do a job, and they may not do the best of the job, but they're family, or you love them. So therefore, you're going to give them that opportunity and give them more leeway.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, for instance, so one of my little brother played in the NFL, Tyron Brackenridge.
Yeah.
And there was an understanding that we had when we went out. He makes most of the money. He's the cash cow for the family in a lot of ways.
Right.
If something were to happen, there's somebody in the car that's going to take the fall, because he can pay for get that person to get out of jail.
And that's what I was getting at when it comes down to cats of our age, right? At the time when I was in a position like this, there was always somebody there with the same mind that was going to make sure, no, you're not going to make that bad decision. There's no way that whoever the person is, right? There's no way that I'm going to allow you to make a stupid decision and kill all of our possibilities.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel is missing with a lot of young celebrities or just people in that position these days. It's like when you can have all of the leeches and all of the homies and all of this and that, why can't you find a voice of reason, find the designated driver, find the person that when your temper goes out of control and you want to punch somebody, doesn't allow you to do that. Find the person to hold the guns. Find the person to get in the fight or whatever else that needs to happen regarding your situation. Where are those people? Because I believe that if that person would have been present with Henry Ruggs at where was they? They was at Top Golf.
They're at Top Golf and then at a friend's house.
He wouldn't have been behind the wheel of a car, and we wouldn't be talking about this today.
And you bring up ride shares and taxis and driver services.
Yeah, this happens in Las Vegas. I've always wondered since I moved here, what is the point of a DUI in Las Vegas? I'm talking about. I moved here way before Uber, and it's times when I went out on the strip and just got completely wasted, and literally had to spend half the next day trying to remember where my car was at, where I left it.
Right.
Like it's a known fact out here. Like it's so unnecessary to put yourself in that position in this city. So
it's inexcusable.
It's just the worst decision. And if there's anything that I pray for this generation of just young talent and young greatness to do, is to just have somebody in your corner
with common sense,
help you make better decisions, man.
Like when it comes to the rideshare issue, like the team in the NFL have a program where they'll pick you up. Okay, but a lot of teams, a lot of players don't use that. Do you know why they don't?
They don't want to get in trouble, right?
Well, they don't want to use it against them.
Right.
Oh, well, TQ got wasted at Top Golf.
Yeah, exactly.
And now the contract comes, you got a drinking problem. We're not going to.
Exactly.
So, but in Uber from Top Golf to Rainbow is about $32, if that. And if you're at your friend's house, which I don't know where that person lived or lives, but you could leave your car there, go home and then Uber back. It's not, and you're a first round pick. You have, I think the guarantee was, 15 or so million. It's not like you don't have that money. And I'm not going to pile on Ruggs because I think Coach Olsen said it best. He's not a monster.
No, absolutely not.
And that's the thing that people like. It's either that's a problem I have in general with society. Either you're one way or another. There's never you just make a bad decision that it affects multiple people, and it's the worst decision you're probably ever going to make in your life. He's not a monster for all the purposes. And I've known a lot of guys on that team. I talked to probably his best friend on the team. Yeah. He's broken up over it, and he's like, this ain't Henry. Like, this ain't Ruggs. Like, this isn't. He's a good dude. He
made a bad decision, man.
Yes,
that's what it is. He made a bad decision. The problem here is we got to walk a fine line because that bad decision killed somebody.
Yeah,
and like I said at the beginning, the way it's reported, because of who it's reported by, our news cycle, sports news. The key word is Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
He is not the subject of the story.
No.
So, it's not about piling on, but it's not about trying to paint him as a saint or whatever and talking about his good character or whatever. Those people who lost their child, they don't want to hear that.
No, you're absolutely right.
So, I'm talking about all of that right now. The people who know Henry Ruggs, they can vouch for him.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily feel like this is the time to do it. I think this is the time to respect the fact that those people lost their daughter. Allow them to mourn. The sports side of this is secondary.
100%.
It is not the point. So now if we take that and we pivot and we say, my whole thing is I wanted to take out of his situation a sounding board, something to teach off of, right? What can be learned out of this situation? It was a bad decision that could have been avoided. So for all of you brothers out there, young kids. It don't even matter. This is beyond race. This is beyond
For all people.
For all people. Period. Do not weaponize a vehicle. It doesn't make sense. It's easier now to get from point A to point B than it's ever been. If you can't hold your drink, stay from behind the wheel of a car. Period. That goes for Henry Ruggs all the way down to the 16-year-old that just got their license and is going out for the first time able to drive. We just had a situation like this
11 months ago.
Where, I mean, come on, man.
One of the top basketball players in the country, a UNLV commitment at the time, Zayon Collins, 19, was speeding down a residential area and hit and killed a man going to work. And he was legally high, and he no longer has the scholarship opportunity, and his life has changed forever.
Because of a bad decision.
And he's represented by the same attorney that's representing Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
So I just, it's a side note, but it's something to keep in your back pocket to understand. I know it's not something we want to talk about. But
well, I mean, I don't think it's about the second part of this tragedy is what happens to Ruggs. Is it, and then we come to this obstacle again of incarceration versus rehabilitation. Like, we're a country of second chances. Should this kid rot for this mistake? Some are going to say yes. Well, bad mistake. You made a bad mistake. You took a life. You got to pay for it. Others are going to say a person of this ilk, of this level that has achieved this much this early can absolutely be a vessel to help make sure that this doesn't happen again.
100%. And you look at a fan base, fans in general.
Yeah.
When you go to games, you get wasted.
Yes.
You tailgate.
Yes.
You get wasted inside, and afterwards, if you win, you go get wasted outside.
Absolutely.
Imagine having someone, and there's already 2 players on his team that overcame addiction or beaten it. And that's Darren Waller and Max Crosby.
Right. Right.
But not to this nature.
Yeah.
Now you have a face that can be the voice of don't drink and drive.
Right.
And let me make this clear. Just because I have empathy, not just for the victim, Tina Trentner, I'm having empathy for Henry Ruggs as well because he is a father.
Yeah.
I have empathy for his girlfriend because she is a mother.
Right.
Just because I have empathy for all parties involved doesn't mean I'm condoning or excusing what he did. It's just being able to feel, and like they're all in a very effed up situation.
Absolutely.
I mean, and that's just what it is. And he can be used as a vessel. I mean,
I'm glad you said that, though. I'm glad you addressed that because I've seen a lot going across the Twitter sphere and across social media. Whenever somebody displays empathy, and most of what has been, on that side of the conversation has been empathy for all parties involved. You have some who feel as if, you just care about him because he's an NFL player and blah, blah, blah. If he wasn't, you wouldn't be saying this and blah, 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 blah. The point is that it's what you said in the beginning. There are multiple lives that will be changed forever because of this bad decision that this young man made. There is nothing wrong with a human being having a sinking feeling in their gut for all parties involved. And that's what I have. That's what you have. And most people with any type of common sense and any type of heart should feel the same way. This is tragic on every single side of it.
I was researching for an article about this. The highest rate of drunk drivers are males between the age of 21 and 24.
Wow.
And I believe that's at like 27%.
Makes a lot of sense, man. I remember what was happening when I was that age.
Me
You
too.
remember what was happening when you was that age. We have this air of like invincibility
Mm-hmm.
that we feel like we're going to live forever, right? And especially coming from where we came from, if we made it to 21, we celebrating like we
Man, I didn't even think I was going to make it to 21.
Exactly. We celebrating like we retired. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's a tendency to go a little crazy during that time. And I have to go back. I just remember when I was going a little crazy. And the reason why I didn't go all the way crazy was because of the people that I made sure that I had around me. Now I had some assholes around me too. Like, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
But but you have to find that balance. Like, you have to have somebody there that, hey, this cat don't drink, this cat don't smoke, this cat is about business, this cat has a good eye, he can fight, he can shoot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever the case, like, you have to balance out your surroundings. So I think the biggest story that can come from this, outside of, you know, the sincere condolences for this girl and her family, is that, like, we got to learn something from this. You know what I'm saying? UNLV football players, UNLV basketball players, when you out having a good time, getting a little overzealous, man, let somebody else drive, man.
Someone that's not drinking.
Let somebody else that's not drinking drive. Bring the square homie or the nerd homie or whoever. Bring the person that's not into it. Make sure they your designated driver. I know y'all done heard this 1,000 times. Damn it, we saying it again. Another person has lost their life senselessly to drunk driving. It's ridiculous. This been happening. You remember Mad when we was little?
Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Come on, man. Come on. This is the time of Uber and Lyft and all of these other services that can get you from one place to the next. Do not weaponize a car. Period.
This has overshadowed everything in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, literally, there was a shooting in a robbery at a store.
Crazy. Wow,
in the Southwest.
Type.
And
yeah, crazy.
it was like the fifth thing they talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was on Thursday. Also on Thursday, there was a huge trade for the Golden Knights that's been going on forever. Like, they've been talking about it. The Buffalo Sabres have this cat named Jack Eichel.
Right.
And this dude was a number 2 overall pick behind Connor McDavid, who is probably the best player in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
And he gets traded to the Golden Knights for Alex Tuch, Peyton Krebs, and two picks.
Man.
A first-round pick and a second-round pick next year. First-round pick's protected. And Golden Knights get a third-round pick next year back in return. And that's still not talked about. This is a point-per-game guy.
Yeah.
This is one of the best players in the NHL. He won't be ready. He's having some surgery. He'll be back in April, presumably.
Right.
But no one's talking about it because it's still about just the shock and horror of the Henry Ruggs accident.
Yeah.
And it deserves that. Like, I'll say, I can say this, like, when we're in Vegas, as we are, like, every now and again we'll go out. Like, this has made me think of, like, I even want to drink when I go out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being honest. Like, I was coming back home, going to the airport, and the driver was kind of speeding a little bit, and I was like, slow down. Like, it freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, it takes you there, man. It takes you there. And it's like the timing of all of this. The Raiders have had just a tumultuous off the field season.
It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be real. Last 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. And in the midst of all of this, you know, I'm not poo-pooing the situation. We are a sports show, so I'm just
we have to talk the sports side of it.
Right. We are just moving on to the field. Where do they go next? All right. The last 2 times we saw the Raiders we feel really good about what we saw. Losing this particular player changes a lot of things on offense.
Bro,
It allows defense secondary to relax a little bit. They haven't been able to do that this season.
do you remember what I said last week on the show when I said we talked about the Raider game?
Yeah.
I said I wanted to buy a Henry Ruggs jersey.
Yeah, for sure.
He's probably my favorite Raider.
Yeah, I mean, because
outside of Keyshawn Nixon, because that's the homie.
I mean, his presence, man, scared defenses. Even if he didn't get the ball a lot in the game, even if he wasn't targeted a whole lot in the game, I mean, outside of Waller, Derek spreads the ball around.
Yeah.
You know, Waller's a safety net, but it's times when you have 7, 9 different receivers touching the ball in a game.
They were the only team in the league going into before the bye week. It was that Eagle game that had 4 players with 400 or more yards receiving.
Exactly. So when you have a player with Ruggs' kind of speed, that safety out there cheating over to that side gives Derek an extra step.
Well, on Friday, Odell Beckham was released. He'll presumably would be clearing waivers on Monday if he's not picked up by anybody. Right. And on Tuesday night, Deshaun Jackson was released from the Rams.
Right.
So I know what I've been told, but I'm not going to get into that. You have your choice. You're Mike Mayock. Which one of the two are you signing?
Oh, I'm signing OBJ. I'm signing OBJ for sure. At the same time, D-Jack can fill that need because D-Jack is still fast. He still has that straight line speed. If he can stay healthy, it does a thing in the back of your mind when you know that speed is over there on the side of the field. It just does something. It causes you to hesitate. And in today's NFL, that hesitation could mean a touchdown. So I believe that we lose that fear without him. And with having this offensive line as opposed to the previous offensive line where we had these maulers and the running game was the stable, this offense is about Derek Carr.
100%.
Like that's what it's about. At the end of the day, that's what it's supposed to be about. When you look at how long he's played,
when you have an elite quarterback,
it's supposed to be about him. So, I believe they need to replace that speed some kind of way. I believe they could do it with one of these two guys. I would love for it to be OBJ because, I believe in our scheme, in the offense that we run, he will touch the ball
a lot.
He will touch the ball a lot. So I'd love to see that. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Like I think I looked at the waiver wire and way down.
Well, no, yeah. Well, look, it's the waiver wire with Odell.
Right. Yeah.
I think he clears waivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
People thought Deshaun wasn't. No,
right.
Deshaun was because people don't have cap space like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be where Odell wants to go. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to be Vegas. I think he wants to go somewhere where he has a legitimate chance to win a Super Bowl this season. So I look at Super Bowl contenders.
Who says the Raiders aren't Super Bowl contenders?
I think
explain that to me.
With everything that has happened over the course of the last 2 to 3 weeks, I think eventually it's going to catch up with them. I think they're a playoff team, which is a great first step because that's what they need to be this season. But as far as winning a Super Bowl, I don't see them beating certain teams in the NFC. And in the AFC, Buffalo is a different monster. And I think Buffalo is the best team in the AFC.
So the Raiders can't compete with Buffalo?
I'm not saying can't compete. I'm not saying can't compete. I just don't think the Raiders have to win their division first. They're still in the dogfight for that. And they've got a very tough game on Sunday, traveling across the country to play the Giants, which, the Giants have a shit ton of guys that are not playing, including Saquon Barkley. But it's still traveling across the country is not an easy deal. And to do so in a week where your top receiver is no longer on the team and you've been dealing with a lot of emotional baggage.
That's not the top receiver.
No, I'm talking about title label as receiver, not pass catcher.
Okay.
Top pass catcher is Darren Waller.
Okay.
But receiver was Henry Ruggs. And to deal with all the emotional stuff with that, I think they still win. But I think eventually a lot of these emotions is going to catch up with them. I hope it doesn't, because I would love to see them make a deep run. I think Deshaun Jackson is more likely because he actually fits the same role that Ruggs had. And it's easier, where I think Odell is more of a complete receiver, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, he can do it all. He's not just, I'm not going to run those deep routes like Ruggs can do. But even though Ruggs, they're getting him in space, which is what they should have done. Deshaun is the same type of guy. You get a bubble screen, but he makes his money off them posts. Them
money off speed. I get it.
Exactly. So
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not going with this whole the Raiders aren't a Super Bowl contender. Like, Raiders 5-2. Are the Raiders 5-2?
They're 5-2.
Yeah, so what are you talking about? You're out of your mind.
Who
wouldn't want to come to Las Vegas and play for the great Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium? Who wouldn't want to do that? This ain't the same. This ain't what it used to be. We ain't playing on a baseball field no more, man. Do you see Derek Carr slanging that rock? Who don't want to come play with that? This thing's been changed out here, brother.
What I am saying is
Green Bay fans.
There's uncertainty. Is Bisaccia going to be the head coach? I went on record this week and said if Mayock keeps the job, I think I said it on the show last week. If Mayock keeps the job, I think Bisaccia stays, especially if they do well and they make the playoffs.
Yeah, who cares?
No,
just win.
But
just win.
It is.
Who cares?
For either one
Joe?
of these guys, it's the rest of the year deal, and for Odell, in a lot of ways, it's to reestablish your value and a show me deal. With Deshaun, and Deshaun wants attention. Like the Rams are what, 7-1, 6-1? Why is he gone from the Rams? They're 6-7. They're a Super Bowl.
Man,
contender.
D-Jack my age. What do you mean? Why is he gone from the Rams?
Why is he gone from? He still has a speed. He still had a couple weeks ago 75-yard touchdown.
I mean,
he wants the ball. There's not enough balls. He comes to the Raiders. They spread the ball around.
Yeah. I mean, ain't nobody getting the ball. I mean, they'll get the ball, but they're not gonna get it like Jerry Rice or T.O. or somebody. Like, that's dead. That doesn't win anymore. Defenders are too good. You can't just constantly feed the ball to an outside receiver. You can do it to a tight end. Going up against linebackers and people that he's just going to monster over. But on the back end, it's too heavy. The defenses are too – you're just not going to be able to feed the ball to one person over and over and over again. It's not going to happen. So any of them that are coming to any team and think they're just going to just get the ball. Okay, if that happens, you're not going to no Super Bowl. You ain't going. Both of them want to win. They want jewelry.
Right.
So anywhere they go, all of these people, let's say your Super Bowl contenders, they all spread the ball around.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's the key to winning on offense.
Well, for the most part, there's one that feeds a receiver because allegedly there's no other good receivers on the team.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess. I guess.
Let me say this, though. This is the opportunity for Bryan Edwards to step up and show why some people thought he was the better pick of the two between him and Ruggs last year in the draft because of his size, speed, physicality.
Yeah.
It was a great opportunity for Bryan Edwards to step up for the Raiders and make plays on the outside. Zay Jones, you said it to me.
Yeah, man.
You know, Zay Jones and Derek Carr have a connection.
Yes, they do.
It's a great opportunity for Zay Jones.
Yes, it is.
So,
Yes,
I mean, the Raiders may stand pat. I doubt it. I was told by people that they really like Deshaun Jackson and they like Odell Beckham, but they think Jackson would be a better fit right now, that they would revisit Odell in the offseason because wherever he goes, he's not going to, from everybody's understanding, it's not going to be a multi-year deal. It's going to be a one-year deal for the remainder of the season. So,
I mean, you know, hey, it is what it is. I believe that we need to fill the space with some speed, with somebody. And if we don't get Odell, you know, they always faithful by the bay. You know what I'm saying? Homeboy.
They actually were trying to get him before.
I already know.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said that.
So, I mean, look, hey, I tweeted out earlier today who Odell the teams that I know for sure have been linked to Odell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pull it up.
A lot of places that could use him, man. Patriots, Saints.
Patriots,
A
Saints.
lot of places that could use him.
Patriots make sense because they could use a receiver. The Saints don't because of the quarterback issue. He wants to go where there's a quarterback in play. They're running with Simeon the rest of the year with Jameis being out.
Yeah.
So I think it eliminates the Saints. The only thing with that is it's New Orleans. He went to college there.
You think?
Yeah. The Raiders, the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Chargers, the 49ers, the Ravens.
Ooh.
Now
I hadn't even thought about that.
The Ravens, you put him with Lamar and that.
Please.
That's
no Ravens, no Green Bay, no Tampa Bay. Please. Please.
But those are the teams that I've heard most associated with Odell. And a lot of those teams, too, have the same infatuation and affinity with Deshaun Jackson.
Right.
The thing that makes Deshaun a little more desirable to teams is Deshaun is available right now.
Right.
And you could sign him, get him in the building, and get him ready for next week. With Odell, you're probably going to get him in Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sit out a week, integrate him in. There's a 2-week period for him. So yeah, that's what you're going to get. I mean, but we'll see. By next week, we'll have an answer. That's for sure.
I say this much. Either one of them coming to Las Vegas, I think it would temper the last couple of weeks a little bit.
Yeah, I think one would be more polarizing.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Just because of the
stuff that comes with it.
No, you know. Look, I want. Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. Why not?
I think Odell gets a bad rap, and let me explain why. And I can speak from where I'm at. The only issue I've ever had with him was after they beat Washington, and him and the rest of the receivers from the Giants went down and hung out with Trey Songz on a yacht in Miami on a Monday, and they had a wild card game that following Sunday in Green Bay. Mm-hmm. And he didn't perform well.
Right.
But that's the normal off day. So it's no different if they left Washington where they took a private jet, which they chartered.
Right.
If he would have back home to New York and partied for 2 days. It's no different.
But I mean, the people don't get that. They don't understand that. The average person doesn't understand that. And the problem is that Odell stuff is always on camera. And this is sports is the entertainment business. It is a major part of the entertainment business. Yeah. And Odell is always doing something deemed negative by those watching on camera.
Exactly.
Now, you got other players that are probably doing the same stuff. They just don't do it on camera.
Aaron Rodgers threw down iPad or whatever they use, Surface Pro. Tom Brady's cursed guys out.
Man.
Kicked things over. Other players have thrown over water jugs, but Odell gets pissed at a field goal net, or Odell's angry on the sideline because he wants the ball because he wants to win, and he knows he gives that team a great opportunity to win when the ball's in his hand, and he's vilified for it.
That's the way of it, man.
That's my point.
That's the way of it. And then not only that, you have to understand there's a connotation that comes with a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Ain't necessarily based on Odell, but it's right. So when you fall into that, then you have the hair and the great catch, and then you got the famous girlfriend and all this and that, and then the shenanigans, right? We don't mind shenanigans if you're winning.
But doesn't Tom Brady, isn't he have a famous wife? Didn't Aaron Rodgers date a famous woman?
What's the difference between?
They're white.
Nah, man, come on. It ain't just about being white. That is not the case.
You don't think so?
Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't win.
He was winning in New York.
Did he win a Super Bowl in New York? You just talked about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Those people win on a consistent basis. So what they do on camera, when they got their shenanigans caught on camera, sweep it under the rug because they're winners. No, see, you're not a Raider fan. You don't understand the concept of winning. No, you don't. Oh, you're a Packer fan, so you don't understand.
We win
a
lot.
No. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about.
So you just said it right. I understand the concept of winning.
Listen, just win, baby. That's what it's about.
A great slogan.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is, and it's the truth. If Odell Beckham Jr. won more games than he lost, he wouldn't be looked at in the same way. You know what? You know how they did T.O.? They did T.O. like they did him, and a lot of it was warranted by T.O.
Yeah.
But the majority of T.O.'s career was spent winning games.
I agree. Same with Randy Moss.
Winning games.
But
all of the people that have been accepted for their shenanigans have been winners. If OBJ wants to get the people off of him, he's got to get somewhere and win on a consistent basis. At the end of the damn LSU championship, you can't be the person on camera giving money to the players. Not you. You can't do it. Now, maybe
NIL, man.
Maybe if you had a couple of rings, then people wouldn't necessarily care as much. But our culture, sports and otherwise, man, we like to win.
But they also like to vilify people. And with Odell, I'll shed some light on what happened in Cleveland. He wasn't getting the ball, and he wasn't being out of pocket with anything that he's done. He was very polite.
Yeah.
Going to coaches, going to front office. Hey, can I get the ball? Hey, I gotta get the. Went to them multiple times quietly and asked for a trade.
Yeah.
It shows the ineptitude of the Cleveland Browns. When the trade deadline was Tuesday and you're releasing him on Friday, you could have got something for him.
Yeah, it could have.
But they didn't. And then they want to spin it and like, he's being asked to stay home. No, what that's called is a suspension with pay because you want to spin it. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't talk to teammates. He doesn't talk to anybody. He wasn't talking. His best friend is with Jarvis Landry. You tell me he's not talking to his best friend?
Man.
That's like me and you not talking.
I don't even think it's none of that, man. I think that.
But that's the reports coming out the last couple of days.
But okay, so think about this. You're sitting in the office in Cleveland, and you're the head of this team, and you're saying to yourself, you say, look at my squad on paper.
Mm-hmm.
If I could get a slight neck surgery for my quarterback, because we got these quarterbacks that their necks don't move as they should.
Calling him Chris Winky.
Bruh, if I could get a short neck surgery for my quarterback to get him to get into that second, third, fourth read. Damn, look what I got on the field.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that go. You want to try to wait on that neck surgery. that neck surgery is not going to happen because when you come out of the Big 12,
there is no turning your head looking.
There is no turning your head and looking. And if that develops in the league, I mean, it don't happen often, man.
No.
It just doesn't. So I think that's a part of it. I don't believe Baker Mayfield could get the ball to the man consistently.
Well, Odell's dad showed with the video on IG.
Yeah.
This is how often he's open.
But I mean, I don't think it was any, like, what kind of fool would freeze Odell Beckham out of the offensive game plan?
You'd be surprised about. I know for a fact there's NFL teams that have done that to deflate the value of somebody, so you can.
A team like
Chicago's doing that with Allen Robinson.
Yeah, but Chicago ain't expected to do nothing. Nobody
Doesn't
expected them to do nothing.
But Allen Robinson,
quarterback.
Allen Robinson is one of the premier receivers in the NFL, and they're doing that to deflate the value, so they can franchise him again or move him, or he won't get the type of deal because that's just what they are. I mean, hey,
they got types of teams. That's bottom of the barrel type stuff.
What have Cleveland been except for the last 2 years?
Yeah,
the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, but they on the up and up now. Like
because
just like I just said, if you sitting there in the off season and you looking at your squad, you're like, wait a minute, no, we ain't your mama's Cleveland Browns.
But
we different.
But so we were around Pete Carroll era.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll had more talent than anybody in the country.
Did. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes they won because of the talent and in spite of the coaching.
Right.
You don't think that's happening in Cleveland?
Yeah. I think it is. I think you're right. You're right about that.
So on my point is Odell. I've never thought I would defend Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
But I am. And Odell, I want him to go to two places. I would love for him to go to Green Bay, selfishly.
Nope.
And I would love for him to come to the Raiders.
Yep.
Honestly, those are the two places I want him to be at.
I can dig it. I'll take a third in there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to lead that.
Baltimore? Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great entertainment. That'd be outstanding entertainment.
No, sir. No.
Long as he stays out of California, I'm good.
No.
Stay out because you're not going to do anything if any teams in California.
Hold on, man. Look, you know what? It's about time to end the show now because some people don't like to behave. You know what I'm saying? You got to behave.
It'd be no fun if I was not misbehaving.
Man, listen. Check this out. This is The Franchise Show with your boys, Joe and TQ on Franchise Sports Media. We'll see y'all next week. Don't drink and drive.